First of all, I think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing fowls.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Tomorrow, Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
yes,
but an erratic detective, Mickey Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, Gildarie, you deal with that. You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hello there, and welcome to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon Show. This is a live program, broadcast live from our studio in Queenstown, Leluni, and Irving Street. If you have your smartphone, you're in front of your smart TV, please go to Guyanese Critic Facebook page or type in TBN, Daybreak News, Guyana, and we're also on YouTube. You missed the program, then you can always get it back through those very platforms, through those very sources. As I said before, this is a live program. Comes to you live 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are, because of different time zones. Please stay with us for the hour. Leonard Gildarie, the co-host, called to say that some what's the word to use? A little problem or some problems at work related, has kept him away this evening, but he will be back on Friday. As you would know, the past 11 months he has announced on this program he has a business. Leonard Gildarie has four screens on the East Bank that does advertising plus inform you about the traffic. There's something interesting to say since we're talking about Gildarie missing this evening because of work. Mr. Gildarie's business, those screens have taken in almost 1 year or more than 1 year, I think. And he has said several times on this program he's never got one advertisement from the state. Now, Gildarie is a very independent journalist. He's neither for or pro, but yet he has not got one advertisement from the state. Now, interestingly, I don't want to take up our guest's time, but interestingly, throughout these shows, we have made some startling revelations. Last week, we informed you that there is a big financier of Demerara Waves, the main financier of Demerara Waves, and the guy is insanely anti-government, so it calls into question how independent is Demerara Waves. Now here is a revelation. Gildarie gets no ads from the state, but do you know, now this is going to shock you, so take your coffee away from your legs before the coffee spill in your legs and burn your legs. Do you know that 80% of the income earned by the Starbuck News, which is an anti-government outlet, very relentlessly critical of the government, 80% of its income comes from state ads. $300,000 is for a full-page ad, black and white. When it's color and it's Sunday, it goes almost to $500,000. One Sunday, I counted 28 full-page ads from the Starbuck News. Just work it out and you'll see the kind of income the Starbuck News gets from the state. And poor Leonard Gildarie keeps carping on the fact that he gets no state ads. Now, for our program proper this evening, we are into the season of local government elections, and I will ask the operator to put my cell phone on the screen, 614-5927, and my email is fredkissoon@yahoo.com. I'll repeat that again, 614-5927, and my email address is fredkissoon, one word, small letters, @yahoo.com. If you are contesting the local government elections and you're listening to me, please call me or Gildarie, and we're quite happy until June the 12th to feature you on this program. Our preference is for young people, to give young people a chance to talk to the Guyanese people, but preferably women candidates. Guyanese need to know more about women in business, the arts, academia, and politics, and women generally. So if you belong to a political party and contesting the LGE next month, please call Gildarie and I, and you'll be on the show. Our preference, I said, is for young people. 65% of the people of this country are from 18 to mid-30s, and of course women. We have 3 persons in the studio tonight that are contesting the elections independently. They are Khaimwatie Seenarine, Shaz Ali, and Rawle Aaron. They will introduce themselves to you. They will speak about their worlds, their dreams, their thoughts about Guyana, but most of all, what they can offer during the local government campaign and if they succeed in office. Normally, when there are more than 2 guests, we take it alphabetically. So Mr. Aaron should have been on first, then Mr. Ali, and finally Ms. Seenarine. But our preference is for our women folks, women candidates. So we'll start with Khaimwatie Seenarine. All three of them are running independently. They will tell you their constituencies and describe much more than just being involved in LGE. So I turn now to Khaimwatie Seenarine. Ms. Seenarine, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, pleasant good evening. My name is Khaimwatie Seenarine. I am a teacher for 20 years. I am in the field of, I'm a nursery school teacher. I am representing Westminster Parapet, Constituency 7. Tonight I have been invited here to share my interests and to share several thoughts, to share my reason for contesting. But before I go into all of that, I would like to just share a little more about my background. I would have born as a baby and raised in Albistown in my, I would say, toddler age. And my family have moved from Albistown to Macdoom. From there, we moved, well, my family was a moving family. From there, we went to Eccles, where I spent, let's say, about 5 years there. At the age of 10, we migrated again to the West Coast Demerara. And I've spent most of my teenage age living in Zeeburg and between Zeeburg and Iflot. From that, I got married and I moved with my husband to Cornelia, Ida. About a year after, we've decided to live in perfect harmony. I've been living in perfect harmony for over 10 years. And this year, I've made a choice to contest in the local government elections for several reasons. And if I may continue.
Sure. All three of you have an hour.
All right, so probably we can go to Shaz, Mr. Aaron, and then come back.
Okay.
Can we do that way?
But we will still come back to you.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of Ms. Seenarine. She'll tell you more about our political thoughts. Ms. Seenarine, when we were talking about appearance on this program, she did say to me that is her first. This will be her first time, and she's a little bit shy. Well, I told her since this is her first appearance, it should be a learning experience, and it should prepare her for further public appearances. So let's hope she builds some confidence, not that she doesn't have. Let's hope the confidence builds as the hour goes on. Alphabetically, we'll go over to Rawle Aaron, and Mr. Aaron will tell us about himself and a little bit of his background. As you can see from Ms. Seenarine, she's been a migrating person, migrating from one area of Georgetown to the other, and hopefully she would migrate out of her beloved Guyana. I don't think so. Is that so?
No.
Okay, Mr. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. Kissoon, and let me say good night to good morning or good day, wherever part you are watching this program around the globe. My name is Rawle Aaron, and I'm running for the local government elections, constituency 14, which is South Rhineveld Park, Rhineveld Industrial Estate. And my desire is to see not only South Rhineveld Park and Industrial Estate become something that is significantly happier to live in, a place that is happier to live, but also to see our garden city of Georgetown, become a place that we all can be proud of. My background is basically marketing and public relations. I've been in marketing and public relations starting from as early as 1982 at the Central Bank of Guyana. After leaving the Central Bank of Guyana, I migrated, studied, and returned home. I worked at Le Parkin Group of companies and then with Stabrook News. I also work with companies such as Guyana Water Incorporated, Ministry of Housing and Water. I've worked with private companies also. I've worked throughout the length and breadth of Guyana in relations to humanitarian work. Right now, I represent a organization, Clear Vision Guyana. We believe that we must give back. We look at the eyes. We give glasses free to individuals who have difficulties with their sight. I'm a humanitarian. I believe that I have the credentials to run for South Rampelt Park, Rampelt Industrial Estate, because I believe I bring a different flavor to the pot. And this is what I bring to the pot. I bring interest from my community itself. I believe that anyone coming out of their community wants to see good. They want persons to understand that in this community, there is help coming to you, but we cannot do it alone. We must have collaborative efforts with everyone in the community. What is happening basically, and has been happening throughout the years, is that there have been a failure to communicate by councillors who have been in those constituencies. You don't see the councillors. They don't visit. They don't appear in shows and let the residents in that particular community understand what is happening. There are some burning issues in relations to what is happening in South Rampelt and by extension, in the entire city of Georgetown, which I would like to touch on. But I don't want to take away any more time of like my good friend to just make an intro.
Okay, we'll go over to Shaz Ali, then come back to Ms. Seenarine and take it from there. The object of this program is to present yourself to the electorate and by extension the Guyanese people. So Mr. Shaz Ali, I think Shaz is a short for...
Okay, my name is Shaz Ali. Well, that's my popular name, but my real name is Shazam Ali. I'm contesting in Constituency 1, which is Kingston, Commonwealth, Alberton, and Queenstown. This is a very large constituency of the municipality of Georgetown. I've been living in this constituency for the past 28 years, but born and raised in Regina, Esquibo. My background is solely business on IT and medicine. Whoever know me, I've always been passionate about positive changes for Guyana. I've always been at it. I've always been vocal, on all my social media platforms and so on. So I'm using this opportunity. I was a candidate in the previous election, the general election for TCI, the Citizenship Initiative, but this time I'm an individual candidate under the list TCI, representing from my community. This is the opportunity for me to directly be involved and to represent my community and showcase and help in every way possible.
Well, let me address our viewers by informing them what they have been informed about. These three people have very, very interesting background. Ms. Seenarine should know Guyana very well. She's been moving and living in different districts. Ms. Aaron has a very, very interesting CV, the kinds of organizations they've worked with. And Mr. Ali has been in business and lived in Kingston. Before we go back to Ms. Seenarine, it should be noted that Mr. Ali is contesting in a constituency that is also being contested by the famous Malcolm de Freitas, who contested that constituency twice before. It would have been interesting to see how Malcolm and Shaz relate to each other. Maybe we could have both of them square off in a program to come before the local government election. But Ms. Seenarine, tell us what you want to achieve, both as a person, as a patriot, and as a beginning politician.
Okay. So there was a reason why I would have lamented on the different areas that I've lived. The reason why is to allow people to know that I have mixed in different communities, and I have some experience living in various communities, and I also one of the reasons that I'm choosing to represent Parfait is because I've lived there and I've seen. I would have believed that our community has been neglected. I would say, from since 2011, I've lived there. The roads were not road; it was like dam, and for many years, the people in Parfait have been, crying out about the road situation. And there are many times I wish that I can be at a place or in a position where I could advocate for my community, where I could be a voice. My community, I feel at this point I can represent my community because I am a teacher, and being a teacher, I interact with members in the community on a daily basis. From just being a teacher, we would talk, we would share each other concern, and people are more open up to me. And apart from the children's welfare, we have our little community issues that we will talk about often. And at this point, a lot of people in my community, I'm sure, know me. And I feel that having a representative in your community is one thing, but not knowing who represents your community is another thing. For instance, I've been living in Westminster Parfait, Constituency 7 for so long, and I don't know who is a councillor for that area. So what I would like to do is to bring about some changes. I would like to not only wait when it's election time to go out and meet community members. I want to bring back something that I want to believe was there years ago. More community interaction, where community members meet and we make decisions and we plan for our community.
Let me, before we go to Aaron, you said you were living there in 2011, family, and you do not know who's the councillor. So from 2011 to now, that woman or man, a Sunday, a holiday, never come around and say hi. No. I am Frederick Smith. I'm Zamir Ali. My apologies for not and get to know you don't know them. Mr. Aaron, the floor is yours again.
I want to start from right where my colleague mentioned, Ms. Seenarine, and that is that the fact that councillors who have been elected for particular areas never visit. They never come around. So they never understand what are the issues of the community. And persons have to understand what is the issue in your particular community before you can solve it. For example, let's go straight to South Rempel Park, Somerville Gardens. There have been some consistent challenges within that constituency. And that constituency is bordered by Aubrey Barker and Cane View and run all the way down past Shirley Field, Ridley Square, right down to the industrial estates. And we've had issues such as flooding, consistent flooding in the area. And I believe that there have been no proper consultation between the local government and central government, because the whole thing is about monies and about methodology in terms of having these problems harnessed. And I believe that if the councillor in that area work closer with central government, with his colleagues at the main city council office, so that budgetary allocations can be made for these inefficiencies within the district, then we can all benefit. There's another issue in South Rempel, and that is the issue of crime. There is increased crime within the area, and we all know it, but we can't sit back. And my intention is to consult with the Guyana Police Force, and let's work together as a community in relations to finding solutions to these problems. We understand that there might be a deficit in relations to the amount of persons policing the area, but I believe if there is consultation with the Guyana Police Force, and the Guyana Police Force understands what are the areas that are being affected, we, the residents, must come out and we must say, look, listen, this is what is happening. But then the issue of crime in the area it goes deeper than that. It stems from the social fabric of the society and the residents, falling apart. There's young men in the community who needs to be actively involved in community work. I have heard councillors before, in their run-up to elections, say that they're going to be involved in bringing youths to the table, whereby youths can be involved in job creation. They can, create jobs and entrepreneur. This cannot be a talk shop anymore. We have to get to work in relations to ensuring that members in our community become actively involved in day-to-day activity. And unless we do that, we have a challenge. I believe that community consultation is important. I want to have community consultation whereby forums can be set up so that we, the residents, will not sit and say, here, look, listen, my council is not coming to me, but we need to provide forums. I want to provide forums. And we're going to start doing this in the campaign running up to elections, running up to the 12th of June. I want persons to come out to those consultations. And together, we need to have a roadmap. When elections is there, general elections, every political party has a roadmap in relations to their manifesto in terms of what they want to do. As a councillor, I want to develop a roadmap for South Renville. And that roadmap must not be developed by me. It must be developed by the residents in the community so that we all can share our thoughts, our ideas, and we all can meet solutions in relations to getting the issues covered. So those are two issues that I talk about. One is flooding, and the other one is crime in the area. We also have to look at our youth development, and that is very important. We have to go into the communities. We have to understand what is the deficit. Where is the deficit in relations to the youth? How can we activate jobs? What is happening basically in Guyana now is all the jobs are being taken by foreigners who are coming into the country. Why? Because they are willing to work for less. So we have to now stimulate our youths into private businesses, and private businesses have to be developed. And we understand persons want to earn, but they need the direction in relations to how they can earn. And these are some of the things that I believe I can bring to the table. These are some of the things I believe that the citizenry out there need leadership. And that is why my slogan is leadership with a purpose, because I believe that I can lead the persons in the community to success.
Mr. Ali?
Well, for my constituency, it's very popular. The current mayor, he's from there, Rajna. Everybody know the normal issues with Georgetown. The entire Georgetown has always be, the mess, the garbage, the flooding, the vending, parking, and so on. I'm not complaining about vending. It's just that vending in general, in the entire Georgetown especially, needs to be regularized, and enforcement there. Fully agree that vending, people need to live fine. I think a better way to handle vending in Georgetown is to create like a flea market concept. You force pedestrians or people that come from different part out of Georgetown to shop. Instead of walking on the road, the vendors there, they will support them. Force them to go to the market, or even the new flea market that you could open. Another issue, the parking issue, like the last parking meter fiasco we had. The best thing to do for that, what it did was make every single road in the heart of Georgetown put parking meters. Do not do that. Just put some roads with parking meters, obviously very affordable and controlled by the city council. Another issue with the garbage too. Garbage is always picked up in Georgetown. They have a timetable. It's on their Facebook page and even on their website. The thing is, it runs well for like two weeks straight, and then suddenly an entire 2 weeks, 3 weeks pass. I don't know what's the reason for that. Right now, coming up to local government elections, suddenly all the garbage is being picked up, even twice a week, not done before. My garbage was picked up last week Friday, and then suddenly again, and then Friday in a week again. Friday in a week yet. It's like, it's scrambling with guys' local government election time. So for me, in Georgetown, as a resident of Georgetown also, what I would do if elected as a councillor, and I think I have a strong chance to, to garner a lot of votes based on popularity and my background, is that I want to give everyone the opportunity, even as a councillor, don't have to be anything big. I will create a platform that you can voice your concern, and I can set something that whatever is it that you put out there, it can be resolved. Basically, it's public and it can be resolved. If it's not resolved, it remains there for the public eye. Because I'm big in IT, I would set up a platform like that just for that purpose, basically. I believe that I have enough experience in terms of management in Georgetown, in terms of business and so on. And I've been around long enough in Georgetown, especially my constituency. I'm not going to play the blame game and blame the mayor or blame all the councillors. I know it comes back to something higher than that. Everything is politics, and what I see one problem with local government, especially the councils and all the councils and NDC and so on, is that they have this war with the giants, which is the current ruling party and the opposition. I don't think that should be. Give the councils and the NDCs and so on the independent candidates to run them. And I'm encouraging all voters out there, support independent candidates. We're not just going up there for show or for just say that we are representing. We're going there for a reason. Give us an opportunity. The big guns are there already in power and in opposition in parliament. Give the independent parties, the small ones, them an opportunity, even in local government. When we're not there, person would say, what are we doing? We're here now. At least give us the opportunity to represent our constituency.
Let me speak to all three of you, then we'll go individually. I got in my email a promotion by a guy called Bobby Vera. I think Mr. Vera is well known in Guyanese society because he was associated for a very, very long time with the PNC, and then he was prominent in the APNU AFC government. And he's running independently, and he sent around an email. I got the email, and he said he estimated his expenses to be $8 million. It's never a cheap exercise election-wise. I am much older than all three of you, and I've been in this thing since I was 16. You've got to spend time, an enormous amount of time, knocking on doors, meeting people. You have to spend time and money. So I'll say first to Ms. Seenarine, until the 12th of June, you have to be knocking on doors.
That's my plan.
So have you been, tell us how you're going to go about.
So far?
Parfait Harmony is a big place.
Okay, so
it's thousands of people live there.
Okay, so this is what we have done so far. Well, I am actually, I would say I'm sponsoring myself. I haven't gone out to ask for any sponsor because I don't want anybody to hold me obligated. I want to be independent and do what I have to do. So I did boards. I put up some boards. We're doing flyers. We're going out as a team to share flyers and meet with people. And also we're going to do a Facebook ad. And right now we're on Freddie Kissoon show. So that is the plan so far.
Well, I'm not too sure about you rejecting sponsorship. Sponsors have to understand they must be patriotic. People come to them and ask for help in serving their country. Okay. It cuts both ways. They can give you and then they come to you for the pound of flesh, or they can give you patriotically. But I think you should take it, and when you get into office, you should say, listen, that is not the agreement. I came to you for you to aid my patriotism and help my country. I didn't ask you so I could be your chaperone. And I think pragmatically, you should take resources from donors, but be very principled with them and let them know that you're not going to be a surrogate for them when they get into power. But I don't think in any part of the world, and it's been so historically, a politician or any NGO or human rights body were afraid or is afraid of asking for sponsorship. Election in a huge country like this is not an easy task. Barbados is 166 square miles. When you leave your home to go to the airport in Barbados, when you push in a CD in your car, before the song is over, you reach the airport. You put a CD in your car and you drive to Tamari, you have to put another CD because it's so far. So you have to be asking for help. It's just that you have to make sure that the people who give you don't try to control you. They will. I mean, that's the nature of politics.
Okay.
So this estimate by Mr. Vera that he's asking for donations because his campaign needs $8 million. Mr. Aaron, you have to get some money.
Oh, yes, I'm encouraging anyone out there who wants to support my campaign to feel free. My number is 650-9559. You can call me. And this is not, you're not contributing towards, a cause that is going to go unnoticed. We want to ensure that we reach out to persons who can afford to support the campaign, because you're not only supporting the campaign, but you're supporting betterment for your community. And South Renville Park Industrial Estate has a lot of businesses, and those businesses are the ones who need help more than us. They have John Finance in my area, and they have trucks going back and forth. We can lobby for better, roads for the trucks, better facilities. So there are things that they might need us to lobby for as a community to develop our entire community. They might need us to lobby for better drainage. And I have some ideas because I've been speaking to engineers. I've been living in South Renville area for over 27 years. And what has happened basically is that there's an issue of catchment. When the rain falls, there's no way for the water to go and run off. So if there is enough canals, enough trenches there, I mean deep ones, like 12 feet, and it's happening right now. The government has realized that, central government has realized that after years, and have begun to do it. And this has to be continued. Every street, the main Aubrey Bark is being done right now. And I believe that we need to go through the streets. It needs to be done in the streets. It needs to be done in every area so that when rain falls and the cocos are not open, the sluices are not open, water can go into the catchment areas and hold there, keeping it off the roads. So then when the cocos are open, it can flow off. I want to talk also a little bit about the wider scope of Georgetown. Constituency 14 is just a part of Georgetown. But I would like to see the entire Georgetown be upgraded. And my colleague here spoke about some of the things that should happen. There's a major issue right now, and that's the issue of vagrancy. Persons who are of unsound mind, persons who might need to be rehabilitated because they're on drugs. And the city is being just flooded with persons. And there must be something that can be done. As a city, we need to put our heads together. We need to consult with the Ministry of Health. We need to understand what are the challenges. Social services need to come in, and we need to find solutions to these problems. There's an issue of parking in the city. There's an issue of the minibuses, the carnage that they bring to the city, and what the police need to do in relations to curb these. We need to give them methodologies. We need to come up with those methods so that we can stop these things from happening, so that our society, our streets, our Georgetown city can return to its splendor and glory. We need to do that. What is happening basically is that there are thousands of cars on the road, and we cannot continue to operate with the same methodology we used before. the mayor and city council has to play a pivotal role in relations to coming up with solutions, helping the Guyana police force to solve these issues. But if I can return to South, we need to start at home. And we need to fix some of the problems home before we can go to the wider community.
After Mr. Ali makes his presentation, I'm going to ask Mr. Ali and Mr. Aaron an unusual, perhaps semi-crazy question, not Ms. Seenarine. So, Mr. Ali, you've got the money and the resources. The constituency Malcolm De Freitas is running in is a very large constituency. Do you know Malcolm De Freitas?
Yeah, I know him.
Oh, he's a childhood friend of mine. We grew up together in Watmanville.
I know him. I don't know him personally. He's very popular, and plus, I think he's a real estate agent as well.
Yeah.
And plus, when I was there at nomination day, he was there right behind me as well to send in his list. As it relates to finance, I am financed from my personal funds. But if anybody wants to donate to us, the TCI group, which we only have 2 candidates going up this year for LG, is myself and Khaimwatie. They can donate to us in person or online. TCI.gy. It's very simple. You could use a credit card or any other method to donate to us. It would help greatly with our campaign, because campaign costs a lot of money. To get to places, printing banners and all these things. We don't have that access. We don't have the access to the huge resources that the PPP government would have, and even the APTO government would have, as it relates to funds. So if anybody want to donate to us, they can just go. It's very simple. TCI.gy and donate to us. Just like to any one of us, and we would use that money wisely and print flyers, walk around. We already started hitting the ground this week. Door to door as much as possible. What we're doing right now is we're supporting each other. I'm going with her in her communities with some other persons. She's coming to our community as well and walking around.
I didn't anticipate that answer, so I'm not going to ask the semi-crazy question anymore. But I guess you're curious, so I'm not asking it. I'm not telling you what the question would have been like. I would have asked you, Mr. Aaron, and you, because of your background, both of you in business and have been done well, I would ask you to make a donation to Mr. Seenarine campaign. But it seems to me that she's part of an organization, right? So, so it's no point asking the two of you to contribute her, because she said I thought from what she said, she's a teacher and she's on her own, but you've now told me she has an organizational umbrella. So I wouldn't ask the question anymore. I just told you what the question is.
Though we're independent candidates, it's a requirement by GCOM to have the name of the list. So the name of our group is the Citizenship Initiative, the same name that we used in the last election.
Yeah. So you're helping her with this.
We would boost our Facebook ads and help print flyers and so on. It goes hand in hand,
But I was wondering, and this doesn't apply to Ms. Seenarine, this applied to the Joshing people. When this thing was announced and you saw different candidates and different entities, did anybody ever try to reach out to them and say, listen, man, let's amalgamate and form a body? So this thing is expensive, this country is large. Why didn't you guys join forces? So you'd have an entity contesting the Georgetown world as the PPP and the PNC are doing.
I believe that many residents have become weary of the two big guns in relations to what's happening. And they want to see independent persons because they believe that their ideas can go much further. There is a lot of political blocks. For example, in South Rempelt, South Rempelt is a heavily politicized area in relations to who's going to vote for who. You already, before the election starts, you know who's going to win. But we have to change that. And this is why. We have to change it because not always those big political parties can bring to the table and bring to the fore what needs to be done. They take it for granted. It's funny that a massive political party, APNU, who has had the council in that area for years, and we are still experiencing challenges. I believe it's simple. I believe the independent candidates, totally political, there's no biases. We go in there unadulteratedly to ensure that the residents are taken care of. We want to voice our opinions. We have a forum whereby we can voice it to any government who's in power, because we are independent. We are for the persons. We are for the people in those areas. And that is why I'm encouraging persons to come out. Search your ballots and look for the independent candidates and vote for them.
Well, I think you have to make sure people know you, and you have to tell them, look, my name is on the ballot. Campaigning, the success of independent candidates have not been astonishing or even plausible. And I think one of the reasons for that is that most of you guys are newcomers, and therefore you lack the wherewithal, or you lack the knowledge, a better word is knowledge, of how to shape a campaign. And people in this day and age campaign now using social media. So I suspect social media played a huge role in the Brexit election, with the UK pulling out of the EU. So social media is very influential, and I believe that since the birth of social media, the traditional newspapers have taken a beating, because people travel in the minibuses and the trains, and they read what newsroom is saying, what Guyanese critics saying. You know, an elephant jump off from the roof of the Bank of Guyana at 2:00 in the afternoon. Papers already printed, so they get it, they see everything, and they don't bother to read the paper tomorrow because they get it from social media. So to begin with, Ms. Seenarine, you did say you're using social media. Is that coming up all right?
Well, the weekend past we did our shoots, so Shaz is in the making of the ad. So Shaz can probably comment on how is that process going.
Well, he's an IT guy. So.
Yeah, when I'm controlling the social media aspect for our part, so far we get a tremendous response. Thousands of people. The good thing about it is that we could control which part of the country our ads be shown, because if you show it to the entire Guyana, it would benefit me because I need my constituency to see my stuff, and her constituency to see her stuff. Some people like to say, this might be the final thing I might say as it relates to LG, is that many Guyanese like to say that the small parties or the independent candidates can't garner much, but it have happened before. I think it was the Force LG. There was a candidate, I think was from Albaistong, who's now a candidate for PPP. He actually was independent, and he garnered enough votes to become a councillor, and he was not part of PPP or the APNU AFC coalition. So it's not impossible.
And I think Team Bench Up won two seats in the council.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
And you would know that. You lived in South Rumpel.
Yeah, so, Bobby Vera actually is running South Rumpel. My constituency 40.
Oh.
So we can have
so he's up against Malcolm de Freitas. You're up against Bobby Vera.
No, Bobby Vera is up against me.
Bobby Vera is up against you. Why is the difference?
The difference is everyone believes that, everybody knows Bobby. A lot of people know me too, and I believe I bring to the table what Bobby doesn't bring, and I am saying, hey, I am the person to vote for, because I have demonstrated here tonight, and I'm going to continue to demonstrate what we want to do, what I want to do for this community. I haven't heard from Bobby yet. I mean, apart from the $8 million. I believe that we want to improve South Rumpel Park. This is not no political gimmick. This is for the residents. We want to ensure that persons out there understand what are the deficits in the community. We want to understand what's the deficit, and we want to make representations on that.
I'm wondering if I time is too short, as I would have had you and Bobby and you and Malcolm. But the question, one of the things that I find is an international disgrace in this country. And I face it very, very often. I faced it up to today. That's because I spend a lot of time on the seawall. And I just drive through Water Street to stop at Matai, to stop at Guyanese Stores, National Highway. And I pass the abattoir. And I think anybody who's a Guyanese and love their country and pass by the abattoir should commit suicide. That thing is terrible, and it's there almost 100 years. What are you guys, except Ms. Seenarine, who's running for in Region 3, what are you going to do with the abattoir if you become councillors?
I believe the abattoir need to be revamped. I believe there is innovative abattoir that they have throughout the length and breadth of North America. I just believe, and we can bring some of that here, there have been no attempt to actually revamp the abattoir, the methodology in terms of how we used to kill animals. How we do it has not changed over the years. And we need to ensure that we speak to persons who are experts in the area, persons who can advise in relations to what we do, and to bring contemporary methodology towards the abattoir and the facility. Because as you said, it is totally antiquated, and it needs to be improved. And we have to do that. And it has to be done at City Hall.
What you going to do with the abattoir, Shaz?
Well, I would agree with Mr. Aaron here. Total revamp it. I mean, it's not rocket science. It can be done. It's just like running a business. Why not? I'm sure there's a lot of politics involved, but it can be done. Maybe the right persons who are there, they don't have the right vision. I see, and all of these people, like they travel different countries and they see what's happening around the world, and they would, literally come back here behind their desk in the AC office and just be there just for the sake of being there, or the council collect their stipends, doing what? But there's so many things that can be done. The entire council is not rocket science. Look how they make the council run. I'm not blaming anyone, but look, City Hall mess today in general. They just, all City Hall, as far as I'm concerned, they do is just clean garbage and look after certain drains, and that's it. What else they do?
So what's happening in Parfait Harmony? Now, the little I know of Parfait Harmony is that I think it doesn't have a post office, and the post office is way in Bagotville. And that post office, I've been told, is about 1 million years old. So if you walk near it, it's likely to fall on you and kill you and your family.
I'm glad you bring up that. Yes, indeed. I visited the post office a few times, and believe you me, I am so young, right? Not very young, but I am afraid to walk. I'm afraid to walk up the stairs. And the last visit, I'm hoping that when I visit again, it would be repaired. The post office is like leaning, so when you're in, it's like you're thinking you're dizzy, but it's actually leaned. So I am like thinking how the older or pensioners get up there, right? It's a hazard. But apart from that, I would like to touch, and no time for it, I'd like to touch on some more issues in my community.
Yeah, go on.
So apart from the road issues, we have security issues such as street lights. Residents have been asking for street lights. There are many women security guards who works different hours. When they go out to get the public transportation, there's no light. Many of them happen to experience being robbed. And not only being robbed, being molested, right? Only the other day, a lady was like, when I was telling her that I would be going up for local government election to represent our community, she was saying, I'm glad because, everybody that knows me as Teacher Rada. That's my call name, Rada. So if you hear Teacher Rada, you know it's me. Teacher Rada, what are you going to advocate for a street light? Because I'm so afraid. Sometimes I have to go on the road 5 o'clock to get to work, and no street lights. That's one issue. The other issue is the multi-purpose center that we have in Parfait, Westminster. Being a nursery school teacher, there are many times you want to go to whole event like kite flying or sports, and the ground is never properly or appropriate as much as it's a ground, but it has many like holes. I don't know if cows be grazing in there or what, but we cannot take the children there. So what is the purpose of having a multi-purpose building and a ground there, and we can't utilize it as a community? So I would like to, if I'm elected, which I have confidence that my community will go out and vote for me, I will be looking into that to get it fixed and get it proper so that our youths can utilize it. We have many young boys, I would see, playing football. The field just near to me have another field, and they have a building. I don't know what they call the building. It should be a community center. They have the building, and they have, I see they would have installed some swings and slides, but there's a part there where the boys would play football, and when it gets dark they would go home. But I noticed today, local government election up around the corner, we're having a floodlight, right, which is good. Which is good, yes, right, you gotta give a little credit sometimes, right? So we have in the floodlight, but the ground still is not fit to play basketball and football. I see in perfect harmony have youths that need to be engaged in these activities. I have a vision for my community. I want to see youths representing our country from Parfait, right, in football, basketball, and even the girls and the young women. I want to see them being more empowered. I want to encourage them to be more, to develop our community together, to come out more, to represent the community. So that area will be working towards as well, to find programs to bring out our youths, to educate them, to help youths to, apart from going to school, following up sports and other activities.
Our time has caught up with us. Our operators have signaled to me through my APs that our time has come. But as a requirement, you must have parting words. So our operators will have to wait, and they're hearing me. Parting words from Mr. Aaron. I didn't call you Rawle. I never call her Khaimwatie. So Khaimwatie is we got to go, so it was nice to have you here. And Rawle, your parting words then, Shaz.
I would like to ask the residents in constituency 14 South Red Bell Park to come out on June 12th and vote for leadership with a purpose. This is our emblem. Ensure that you remember.
Yeah, put it up to the camera that you're looking at. Yeah.
And when you see it, put your X next to it so that we can have success in this area.
Shaz?
Okay, so
parting words.
I'd like to encourage everybody in constituency 1 of Georgetown, which is Kingston, Alberton, Queenstown, and Commonwealthburg, and Donperial. That's where Thomas Road is also. It's a very huge constituency. Throw your support behind independent candidate, which is myself. Just you look for my name, Shazam Ali. Put your X next to the lily flower. It's not hard to spot. Also, besides that, support any other independent candidate from any other constituency. Even my friend here, Rawle Aaron, I would support it. Just support any other individual candidate. Give us a chance to prove something or show something in this local government election.
Thank you, Khaimwatie, Shaz, and Rawle. There is only one parting word from me, which has to be said and will be said by anyone in my position anywhere in the world. When you have guests who are running for elections, you have to say to them, good luck. And good luck to all three of you. After June the 12th, I will know whether you're in the NDC and you're in the Georgetown City Council. It was indeed nice to hear the emanations from all three of you. You definitely pleaded your case well, and I hope it has been justified after June the 12th. Thanks for being here, and we may not be able to do this again because the elections is just around the corner, and these interviews are only 3 times a week. But thanks for being here. It was quite enjoyable and pleasing to have all three of you here, 3 independent candidates. The more people you have contesting elections anywhere in the world, the more better it is for democracy. Any country that doesn't have an opposition, any country that doesn't have people outside of those in power, there is trouble. And I think even the ruling parties around the world will admit that you need people to, be a watchdog on what government is doing, because power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. On that famous English saying, we'll say goodbye to our viewers.